Well, as you can see, it's a beautiful afternoon here at Bealtaine Cottage, but it's very cold. Snow has been promised, or threatened, however you see snow. I always think the promise of snow is lovely. The first part of the shipment of Goddess Rising books has arrived from Dublin. So I'm delighted to be able to unpack these, sign them and get them into envelopes. And there's lots and lots of envelopes here. Stacks of them. And then some more stacks in here, as you can see. All the envelopes that I had delivered from Dublin yesterday are white envelopes. And they made a mistake with the delivery and I got double the amount of envelopes. So I said, okay, you've sent me double. Maybe that's a sign from above that I'm going to go through massive book sales. So I shall pay for what you've sent. So I did that yesterday. So I've been getting my little Bealtaine Cottage Guide to the Deep Midwinter out. They're being posted. I have a few more of the A Cottage in 3 Acres. Now there's a few more there, but there's also one last box left, and there's 44 in that box. So I'm going to have some more printed in the new year. It's been a happy day and a sad day. And, well, no, not really sad. No, I can't say sad. I can say overall very happy. But what I've been doing today, because my youngest daughter is having her first baby, and when my mother was dying, so my mother had cancer, she knitted all these beautiful squares, look, to make my daughter a big hand-knitted blanket. Look at all of these. So my daughter said, Mum, will you sew them together for me? Because Nan didn't live long enough to sew them together. Oh, of course, this is my mother we're talking about. So I've started the long and actually very healing task of sewing them together. And you can see, look, I'm using this wool here, which is like a green wool, but it doesn't really show. So here we go, look, here we go. This is the... The funny thing was, I didn't have a needle big enough, so I went into town last night. Oh, sorry, Jack. We're not ignoring you, darling. No, we're not ignoring you. I went into town last night, into a little shop in Carrick, to get a needle, and I got a packet of 2, and these are plastic, look, see? They're plastic. I said, well, what is this now? You're selling plastic needles? Oh, she said, this is because, you know, when the teachers are teaching the children in school how to sew, they're best with plastic needles so as they don't stab each other. I laughed because, of course, it does sometimes happen. I mean, it's not vicious or deliberate. Usually it's just, you know, a bit of boisterousness. But in order to prevent mass stabbings in schools in Ireland, this is now the recommended needle, plastic. So I've been putting this task off, you see, for simply ages, just ages, because I didn't want to be reminded that my mother is no longer physically here, because I feel her presence, you see, all the time. But it's just that physical, it's that human body that I miss. I miss her face, I miss her talk, I miss, you know, I just miss so much about her. And I didn't want to be reminded that she was no longer physically here, because, of course, if she was physically here, she'd be sewing this up. So I put it off and put it off, and then I was talking with my daughter this morning, and you see, I had promised to sew this for her, and I never break a promise. Or I try very, very hard never to break a promise. So anyway, just looking out the window there to see if there was a car, but there's not, no. Jack has just got a very good sense of hearing, haven't you, Jack? So anyway, I started sewing this, and look, I had my little cup of chamomile tea there. And I lit the stove, and just see the embers in there. And I felt very, very calm. And I felt very, very relaxed. And you know, you feel relaxed when your breathing slows down. And despite the best efforts that we make in order to stay relaxed and free from anxiety, that anxiety is there, that's part of life. So I felt this slowing down, and I was just getting into the whole thing, and actually for the first time just coming to terms with the fact that Mum was no longer physically with me, when I got a phone call. Delivery driver at the bottom of the lane. I've got some boxes for you. And I thought, oh, this is the goddess rising. So of all the days when all these emotions could have come together, it is quite serendipitous that it happened today. Because one of the photographs in the book, which I'll show you, is of course of my darling mother. And I was just saying to Kate on the phone, I said, Kate, you'll be there in the hospital birthing this first granddaughter. And I said, you'll have all the magnificence of all the women who have gone before you in there with you. This is the power of the goddess, you see. Incredible female energy. And there's my mother, look, standing outside of the cottage door, having helped me harvest the apples, like Epona. So, isn't it serendipitous how things work out? No longer surprises me. Nothing surprises me. There you go. So I just thought I'd share that with you. So I have just over 200 books here in these boxes, and the rest of the shipment is going to be delivered early next week from Dublin. So if you want a copy and you want to make sure it gets to you before the Christmas holidays, then it's a good time to order. Now, next week, possibly the week after, it depends where you are. You know, some books, because people do contact me when they've received books to say, oh, you know, I've really enjoyed reading the book, etc. But they'll say, oh, the book has arrived and it's got here very quick. Now, this could be someone out in California and it's reached them in 2 weeks. And then other people, they've been waiting over 4 weeks and they've contacted me because they got a bit vexed and said, well, the book hasn't arrived. So I always say, look, going on the shortest time and the longest time that I've heard of, the longest time is actually 6 weeks, which I find amazing. But anyway, this is how it goes. So the book could be with you if you're in Australia or in on the west coast of America. The book could be with you in 2 weeks, or it might take 6. It's usually quite fast. And I also always say to people, if you don't get the book, contact me. And if people contact me after, say, 4 weeks and they haven't got the book, I'll say, look, just leave it until 6, because invariably it'll drop through your letterbox. But if it doesn't, I will replace the book. There won't be any quibbles about that, because I would not see anybody having paid their money be disappointed. So don't worry if a book doesn't arrive for whatever reason. You know, things happen in the world. Things happen, and you know, sometimes a consignment of books can be in a crate that gets washed overboard on a ship. I don't know. You know, things happen. So if your book doesn't arrive, you let me know, and I'll ensure that another book is posted out to you, and you won't have to pay any more. So I've never seen anyone go without something that they've paid me for. Now, having said that, do double check that the address on the PayPal is correct, and if it's not, send me an email straight away to say, ignore that address on the PayPal, this is the address that I'm at now. Or, ignore the address on the PayPal, I want you to send the book to this friend of mine at this address. So, and I will always get back to you and to say your book is on its way, or your inscribed book is on its way, or your book is on its way to the friend that you nominated, etc. Alright? So that's all I wanted to say, really. It's been a lovely day thus far. And I feel very happy and very settled that I've actually got that beautiful knitted cover started in terms of putting it together. And look, as I'm just looking over here, I see a beautiful plume of pampas grass. Look at that, can you see that? That's the pampas grass, which for most of the year is totally invisible because it's there between all the trees and the shrubs. Which is good because it means it doesn't get blown to bits. So, a beautiful day. I'm going to get back to my task now. I've put in books in envelopes. And those who ordered first, of course, will get the books, you know, that I'm posting today. Because I completed, I addressed the envelopes, you know, in reverse order. So, Jack! So there we go. I'm happy. Jack's happy. Things are moving along. No, I'm sorry, Jack, you're not playing with that thing. Oh, he says I am. He's taken his blue donut and gone running off. He's a wild boy today. He says, well, why not be wild? We can all be wild now and again, Mum. I'll tell you what, Jack, come here. You know what I'll do? I'll take this and we'll take it round here. The blue donut. We'll take it round here and I'll spin it off down the drive. Oh, he says, this is great fun. This is great fun. My mum's in a playful mood. About time too, Jack. Now, here we go, here we go, here we go. You ready? The thing about this carry-on is that I could be stood here all day playing it. Jack, come on, give it to me. Good boy. Give it to me, good boy. I'm not taking it out of your mouth, darling. Drop. Here, come on. If you're not going to play, how on earth can I play? Right, that lets me off the hook. He says no. So, in search of the goddess rising. Here we go. Please let me know your opinion on the book, your comments. Love to get feedback. Love to get feedback. And I'm happily engaged at the moment. Although just a little bit, just a little bit of time in putting together some stories. I've got masses and masses of stories. So just as one thing kind of passes over, you know? Like today I feel that two major milestones have been reached. One is being able to take out my mother's knitting and sew it together and actually handle it and, you know, just embrace that energy and the thoughts that go with it. And two is the final delivery of the first part, anyway, of the order of the Goddess Rising books. Yes, Jack. So we shall go in and I shall carry on with the work in hand, the task in hand. Oh my goodness me, he's brought the donut in. There'll be squeaking going on in this cottage the whole afternoon. I may have to go out and abandon ship for a while, Jack, if you're going to be playing with that toy. Don't be wagging your tail at me now. Come on, oh. Have a lovely Friday evening, everyone. And for those of you just getting up, have a beautiful day. And blessings to you all.